To be clear, before this video starts, no, my tuition bill was not $800, but with the tips I share in this video, that's what I paid out of pocket per semester. And no, I'm not some genius and my parents didn't pay for any of this. This is me flying solo and I just found a strategy that doesn't get talked about enough. But with that said, I think we've all heard that college is too expensive and that student loans are just going to ruin your life if you go to school and that you'll be paying them off till you're like 65 or whatever the hell they say. And honestly, people act like you only have two options. Either you don't go to college or you take out $120,000 in loans and you're just screwed. But that's just not true. I'm not here saying college is cheap by any means. I'm saying that people are really bad at talking about how to make it cheap for yourself. Because I graduated from community college, transferred to a university, I worked through school, applied to scholarships that almost nobody else even bothered applying for. And my experience has been completely different than the horror stories that you see online. So if you're in high school or if you're thinking about college or if you're wondering if it's even worth it anymore, here's some things that I wish someone had told me when I first started out. Let's start off with one everyone will make fun of, going to community college. Everyone wants the college experience, everyone wants to move away and party on the weekends and just do cake stands with their friends. Which fair, I don't blame you at all. However, you will probably be paying around $30,000 a year for the dorm, meal plan, and tuition. Not to mention parking is like $500 a semester anywhere you go nowadays. But my point is, you'll be taking literally the exact same classes for a hell of a lot more money than what you would pay for a smaller school. My community college bill per semester was $4,300, which got knocked down to $3,300 because if you went there with like a 3.5 GPA from high school, which I had, they took $1,000 off per semester, no questions asked. So all in, I was paying $6,600 per year for school, which was just over $26,000 for a 4-year bachelor degree. My entire degree would be cheaper than 1 year at a larger university. The end result from attending either is the same. Whether you go to a bigger school or a smaller school, employers nowadays just care that you got the degree in general. And to be honest, it's more important to have experience than just a degree. Experience in today's job market, I believe, is what really gives you an edge over the other people. Employers want to see you working on projects and doing internships and just doing more than required coursework. That's what's really going to set you apart. So if you're willing to go to a smaller school, you will literally be saving 4 times the amount of money as if you were to go to a bigger one. Second point, and the most important point I'll make in this entire video for saving money for college, is choosing where to work while you're in school. I didn't just work because I wanted spending money, I picked jobs that would actually help me pay for school. The most important thing you can do as a student to save money on college is to work at jobs that offer tuition reimbursement. My number one job for college kids is Chipotle. I worked there for about 2 years and they will give you $2,600 per semester. That's per semester. So if you did what I said earlier, graduate with a 3.5, go to community college and just work at Chipotle, you can pay less than $2,000 a year for college. That doesn't include books, but all of mine were included in the tuition bill. And there's other companies that do this as well. Some are like McDonald's, Lowe's, Taco Bell, and there's more. There's a good website on Google, and I'll throw it on screen right now. It's called Best Colleges, and they have a list of companies and amounts they offer for each of them. The only requirement for most of them is that you have to work like 15 hours a week usually. And specifically for Chipotle, you had to work 4 months before applying for the tuition. You couldn't just start there and apply right away. You had to work there like basically over the summer before you could apply for it. But then you could do it every semester after that. So just be sure to read the terms, talk about it with the manager if you do go ahead and get the job, just to make sure you can do it and you get all set up. This is easily the best way to save money on your tuition bill, and not enough people do it. And I can't recommend it enough for you. And my third point, and probably the second most important point, is that if you don't want to go the job route, just make sure you apply for the local scholarships. Everyone applies for the national scholarships like the Coca-Colas, the Gates, Taco Bell, like the huge ones. Meanwhile, your county Rotary Club is begging you to take the $1,000 they're offering up every year. The local credit union, local businesses, community foundations, county scholarship funds, church scholarships, employer scholarships, ag cultures, trade organizations. Nobody applies to any of these. And if people do, there's usually less than like 50 that do, which greatly increases your odds compared to these large ones that go out there. Some scholarships literally get 1 applicant. And if you spend 10 hours applying to some of these, you can make more money doing this than working an entire summer job, which I know is boring as hell, but just look out for the local ones. Your odds are a lot better. And I wouldn't stress it unless I got some myself. I applied to the same one for all my years in college. And each year I was awarded $2,500 and $3,000. So on top of what I was getting from Chipotle, I was literally getting paid from going to school on myself. So I can't stress it enough. The big ones I would try and stay away from, but the local ones, and if you know people, definitely try and apply and get in there. It's worth your time. You'll thank me later. And my fourth point will be a super quick one. It's just to fill out your FAFSA, even if you think you won't get anything. A lot of people will say that their parents make too much and they won't even fill it out. That's a big mistake. Some aid isn't income based. Some scholarships require that you have the FAFSA filled out, and some grants change year to year. The worst thing that happens is you just spend 30 minutes filling it out and waste that time. The best thing is you might end up getting a grant you never thought you would. You can also get jobs on campus that help you pay for school too, through the work study program that's on there. But you can only get that if you complete the FAFSA. Just spend the 30 minutes filling it out. You may never know if you actually need it. My fifth point, which will probably be the most hated one of this whole video, is that live at home if you can. This one hurts because I did it and I know the pain. Because everyone wants that independence when they graduate high school. But the reality of today is dorms are expensive, meal plans are expensive, parking is expensive, furniture is expensive. You aren't just paying for tuition anymore. You're paying for an entirely new life. And if you can live at home for 2 years, that alone can save you enough money to buy a brand new car. What I did for those 2 years was just visit my friends at different colleges every weekend. Like I could go to this place one weekend and this place the next. Like I could just travel around and see a bunch of different campuses, which I thought was pretty cool. And then usually my friends would come home for the holidays and I could say hi and just hang out with them then. So I was still able to go out and have fun with my friends. And even if you don't want to do that, you can always just transfer out to a different school after 2 years and move out. But at least you were able to save money in the beginning and get yourself a little jump pad for the next start. And I just wanted to say that college isn't mandatory. I went to college. I don't regret it, but I also don't think everyone needs to. If your goal is to own a plumbing company, go be a plumber, go be an electrician, HVAC, welder, sales. There's a lot of ways to build wealth, and trades are more than capable of doing that nowadays. College is just one of the ways if you want to build wealth, you can. And to be even more fair to the trades, I'm now working in them. I am now working in HVAC and plumbing, and I can say wholeheartedly that there's money to be made here. And it's a great looking option nowadays, especially with AI and all of this coming about. It's easy to get into, and there's no debt that comes along with it. The downside is just it's hard labor and it's kind of backbreaking work. But it's always another route if you don't want to go the college way, and I don't want to tell anyone no that wants to do that. But that wraps up my strategy of how to go to college for under $2,000 a year. Find a smaller community school that isn't charging crazy rates nowadays, get a job that helps pay for it, and go from there. I just think social media has turned college into an all or nothing kind of situation. Either it's a complete scam or you just have to go. And in reality, it's somewhere in the middle. College can absolutely be worth it, but only if you treat it like one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. The people who end up buried in debt usually didn't get there because they were lazy. They just were there because nobody ever explained the cheaper path and how to go about it. If this video saves even one person taking out an extra 10,000, 5,000, 2,000, $1,000 in loans, I say it was worth making. But if you guys found this helpful in any way, leaving a like and subscribing would be greatly appreciated, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.
Alô, galera!